Ooh, everybody, just like investigator, how, everybody, welcome. Just like investigator. Okay. Oh, hello, who's this? So, but let's do the protection. I'd like to ask for protection. A beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle. I create a circle. Step into it. I step into it. I feel protected. I feel connected. I like to ask that information come only from the highest sources. They create the good and all of the good, and so it is. So let's get started here. So let's go over some of the news items that we have for today. And it's interesting because I feel like once we get into the topics, that's when we find information, right? Sometimes, or maybe in the at times in the past, I used to think there were like themes or something, but now, of course, part of what these people are doing is that there's so much stuff going on constantly that it's more of it's a way to kind of sort it, right? To see, just to it feels lighter, it feels less stressful. Okay, just observing, right? Observing in a detached manner. All right, so let's get started. All right. So what I'd like to know here is, let me share this with you. So this is a big piece of news that discusses some things happening with Elon Musk, but the part that I'm interested in is not that he basically, it says that he acquired his own company, which sounds shady enough. But the point here is that he said on, I think, an interview with Fox News that he's going to leave DOGE in May. Okay, so let's see here. The head of Tesla said he plans on stepping away in May during a Fox News interview with 6 members of his Department of Government Efficiency DOGE team. Okay, so this is the part that I'd like to know more about. Okay, so why did Elon Musk make this statement that he's going to leave DOGE in May, or leave whatever he's doing in the government, whatever job he has here? And okay, and is he really going to leave? And why did it come up? Okay, so let's ask. So let's see. So why did Elon Musk make this statement that he was going to leave DOGE in May? So I see that his chair, wherever he's sitting, is burning. The ground is burning, and he's being pushed out. And he's been told. I see also that, hey, thanks but no thanks, right? And he's taking up too much space in a way that feels uncomfortable to Trump. Okay, so it feels as though it's not that Trump is behind it necessarily, just Trump, but he has received multiple, I guess, messages, so to speak, right? People that he knows have told him, hey, it's time for you to move on to your businesses, because he's very concerned with the downturn in his companies, because as a consequence of what he does, right, in the government, and as a consequence of his incompetence in general and other things, um, the brand, all his brands have suffered and have incurred losses. So he has to come back. I also get that, even related to the financing that he has obtained for, I think, his XAI company, they have asked him to leave. They have said, okay, we're going to give you money, but you have to leave the government. This is damaging our investments. and it's damaging the brand. So he gets it. Okay. So, okay. Now, the other part that is interesting is that I like to know here is if it's this is as damaging as it is, and it is, of course, extremely damaging for him, right? To his for him personally, to his companies. Why is he staying until May? I mean, he could leave now. Why does he have to? What is it about May? Why does he have to stay until May? Why can't he just leave? Okay, I see he's trying. That's right. I see him driving a truck, trying to hammer into Social Security and the Treasury. And he's going to try to do that before he leaves. But I see that he's trying to drive this truck into, it says Treasury and Social Security, but it looks like a toy truck next to these walls that are very solid. So he pushes, but the truck gets damaged, but the walls stay in place. So he's not able to do what he wanted, which I think really is to, I think, destroy social. It's like he wants to funnel. I see that he wants to move the money somewhere else, but he's not able to do that. And he is told. It's interesting. I see. Is it? I see it. It doesn't usually happen, but I'm seeing the face of a Trump person. He's Scott Bessemer is his name. Scott Bess, something like that. I think that's his name. Telling him, no, you can't do that, and you're not going to gain access to that. So, so this is it. Oh, and weirdly, I see Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is also saying he organized. It was a boycott, but he's pushing him out as well. There's a contingent of people that are connected to Mitch McConnell that are pushing him out. Okay, so this is, and I see Trump kind of pretending like he doesn't know it. Oh, really, Elon? I'm so sorry to hear. I'm so sorry. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Well, okay. Thank you so much for everything. Okay. So what else? I think he also wants contracts, and he was told that in order for him to credibly, quote unquote, have contracts, he needs to step out. Okay. I also get the impression here that Trump is go is happy to see him go because then he can scapegoat him and blame him for everything that goes wrong. Okay, but I have a question. Doesn't Elon have more dirt on Trump than Trump has dirt on him? Who has more power in this equation here? Trump, because he's the president, right? So when you think of, for example, Putin's role, a lot of wealthy oligarchs put him in the position that he had, especially at the beginning of his presidency or his role in Russia. But over time, he took over and he has the ability to just basically take their money, the oligarch money, if they don't do what he wants. So they're all bending over for him. Okay. So that is the story. Now, so then going back to this and the article I discussed on between Saturday and Sunday, let's say, what about the military? Is he going? So, what is it actually going to happen? This is what he's saying today. Is he actually going to be out of the government by May willingly, or will he be removed before? Okay, so it takes me back to the news that was reported and was also discussed in that Substack article of Elon Musk having a meeting in the Pentagon where Trump signs an order that allows him to be briefed on China war plans. And he's told that once they exposed that meeting to the press before it happened, that this is a sign that he has to go. He's not welcome, and there's not much more that he can go in the government. Well, not much further that he can go. But I see he's still, is he going to leave? Show me May, March. Okay, March is over. April. I see him trying to with a little toy truck trying to hammer, that's essentially destroy. You know, guys, just like when you see in the news, like there's this random suicide car people that go, well, in the case, his case, not suicidal. He's just trying to jam his car into the walls to break the walls. That is what he's trying to do. But he doesn't succeed. The car gets hurt. And it's interesting. And this shows that the car that I'm seeing could also be the car company, right? His car company gets dented as he tries to destroy the government. And he's very unlikable, right? This is true. And that doesn't work. Okay, let's see. But he's kind of crazed. I mean, we can see that, right, from his TV interviews. And but still, how is he going to willingly leave? I still feel like there's going to be a lot of clashes and more embarrassing news stories to come out. And I think there's a lot of people who actually truly actively want to take him down because he has grossly overstepped his boundaries. And I see interesting Pam Bondi discussing something with Trump. So, all right, but is the military going to be involved? I see at this point they see Trump and Elon as a package deal, that they're both in it together. They have slightly different agendas, but they work for the same team, so they're not happy. But it's saying the military, wait, I feel like the military may be more focused on Trump, but they want him out, and they were the main ones pushing him out. Yes, also. That's right. Because I see he's seen there's a lot of boundaries that were placed, a lot of things he wanted to do and couldn't. And as I say this, I also see the face of Susie. Is this Susan Wiles? Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, kind of working behind the scenes to put a stop into his power grab. Okay. All right. So so let's continue here. So interesting informations. Interesting informations. Okay. Now let's go to um something else. One second. We get it. So this part I almost don't understand because I don't honestly, I really don't understand how come Elon Musk, like he appears to be really upset that Tim Walz, Kamala's VP, has mocked him. And it's like, how does he not get? I just seriously, I this is a question. Let's just watch this together.
Does that help Tesla? I mean, you had Tim Walz, who's a huge jerk. Does that help Tesla? I mean, you had Tim Walz, who's a huge jerk, you know, running around on stage with a Tesla stock price where the stock price had gone in half, and he was overjoyed. What an evil thing to do! Creep, jerk. Who derives joy from that? And does that help Tesla?
So so it's like, are you I really don't understand it really. So it shows me him as a toddler that he's like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then anybody who says no and who is not complying, he thinks that they are out to, right? He's because again, his toddler-like vision of the world, he's the center of the universe. And anybody who says no, you're not, hates him and wants to see him dead. This is like, it's so crazy when you think about the lack of maturity these people have. It's unbelievable. So that's right. So he sees that he wants total power, right? He feels that he is entitled. Really, he does feel that he's a godlike figure. And anybody who does not comply, who does not praise him, there is therefore his enemy. And it's saying, but it's saying, Rosie, he does not care, he doesn't acknowledge other people. He has no empathy, he's a sociopath. And he only acknowledges people who are, let's say, on the way, quote unquote. Okay. So, all right. So that's right. So how doesn't he get really the why people are so mad at him? No, no, because they say again, in his mind, he's a megalomaniac. He thinks that he's entitled to rule the world and that and people are just jealous of him. He is so great. And there's no such thing as agency, right? Essentially, whatever anybody does is about him personally, right? So he does not see, he sees that he is entitled to do whatever he wants, and anybody who objects is trying to get him. It's so strange. No, he doesn't understand reciprocity. No, he does not, because it's saying he got away with everything. And from taking credit about Tesla's success, right? You know how he was not a co-founder, but he sued to be listed as a co-founder, and many other instances. Uh, that's right. So, but doesn't so then when he says, because he has also said in public that I think it was yesterday in the Wisconsin, we have to talk about it in Wisconsin situation, that George Soros is paying these people. This is like, does he not understand that people can actually hate him? Does he for free? People don't need to pay. He can't handle it. He has to see that there is one, it's everything is black and white. And again, he does not see people as regular people as having agency or having independence of mind. He is a genius. He's the center of the universe, and anybody. So does it make sense? It's kind of interesting here. But if he's so confident, quote unquote, why does he take it so seriously when people object? Because it's all a fantasy. Saying he's living out a fantasy, and that in order for the fantasy to be lived out, it has to be confirmed, right? So he's saying to himself, I'm going to rule the US. I'm the real president here. Then obviously it's an illusion, right? It's not true. It's not factually correct that he is that. However, if as long as he acts that way, then the fantasy is corrected. Anybody who challenges the fantasy is therefore, that's right, is therefore the enemy. But why can't he see that people can hate him? It's not possible to hate me because I am a godlike figure. It's not normal because I am better. Therefore, everybody knows that I am better, and everybody complies because I got here through my own sheer will and effort. And these people just haven't. They are below me. So anybody who objects is worthless. So wow, I don't seriously, it's hard to understand. But anyway, so we're saying, but that will be his downfall. He's so distracted by everything. His world is going to collapse sooner rather than later. So wow. So okay. It's kind of crazy here. So all right. Okay. So let's pause here. Okay, so now let's look at, just for a little bit, his rally. And so
Yeah, I mean, isn't it shocking how much violence and hatred is coming from the left? I mean, isn't it supposed to be the party that they claim to be the party of empathy, and yet they're burning Teslas and shooting up dealerships and calling for the death of the president and me. I'm like, guys, this is insane. Like they're gone psycho. I mean,
Okay, so again, um, this is worldwide, by the way. In Germany, they are burning down cars, of course, and I gave the finger yesterday. But it's like, again, but I see it, the lack of self-awareness is really incredible. But then it shows me the same thing, that he projects his own behavior onto others. So he is violent and aggressive and dangerous, but it's like it's not him, it's the others. So it's a way to justify the actions. So he could do whatever he wants because all the negative attributes of his actions are related to the opposition, right? So he's like, so let's say you beat somebody up. Oh no, these people are so violent. They beat me up, right? So he will accuse others of the things that you do yourself. Okay. Now, the important part here is what I would like to know is about the result of this election. So he's paying people to vote. And it's not clear here whether does he have control, is he able to switch the votes to win or not. So who is going to win this election? The Democrat or the Republican, right? Or the kind of say the candidate that he supports or the other. Let's see. Okay, so let's see here. What's going to be the outcome? Wow, I get this really weird image. Uh, it's like he's tantrumy, and then it's like a ladder, like no, stairs that he opens up, and beneath him there's this like vomit or like inside, and it's like monster what monsters look like on the inside. And he didn't win, and yeah, the whole thing like this. What is it? So saying he has to live with the hatred, and he falls into this hole. That's what I see. So again, just because of last time, right? Like I still feel like he's not going to be able to change the votes in his favor for some reason. I don't know exactly why. Why can't he change the votes in the way that he changed the votes with the election? What changed here? What is the difference? It's saying that he was caught and he can't do the same thing anymore. So that's right. So the methods don't work the same way, is what I'm understanding. And say way Rosie, we're gonna see the results. And there's shock to him because before he was able to rig the election, right, in favor of Trump. So he believes he got more and more manic, believing that he has this incredible superpower. And if the outcome is not what he expected anymore, then the craziness, right? So because again, the wind emboldened him to believe that he could do anything. And when reality hits again and shows that how hated he is and how his efforts didn't work, it drives him crazier. Okay, but what about the fact that he paid people? And that's illegal, isn't it? And and they're investigating him for this. Is it going anywhere? It's saying for the time being, no. Like the investigations could be ongoing, but there's other issues that are happening. And saying, but the bottom line is this: he's not likely to win this time. Okay. So, oh, interesting. They're unplugging the vote. I don't know how this voting process works this time, but it's saying they're unplugging the machines. The state officials are. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. This is what interesting. I'm saying because the problem for him mentally is that he has to make, like, he fell into the lie that he himself created, right? That the elections are fair and that the numbers are correct and that they won the election, which they didn't. They just stole it. So every step is about every step that he takes and every step you take, every move you make. No, it has to prove. And when it doesn't, his ego, let's just say narcissistic collapse, his ego collapses. So I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea what it's like to be that person, but that's what I get here. Okay. Interesting. All right, let's pause. Now this other piece that I'd like to discuss is a memo that was leaked from the Defense Department that it has Heritage Foundation's fingerprints, but basically states that China is supposed to be now going forward our main enemy and to kind of ignore Russia. Okay. So I'm going to share this article with you here, and then I have a few questions. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. So secret Pentagon memo on China homeland has heritage fingerprints. An internal guidance memo from Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth focuses on deterring China's seizure of Taiwan and shoring up homeland defense. In some instances, the document is nearly a word-for-word facsimile of a report from the conservative think tank behind Project 2025. So I'm not going to read the whole thing. I am going to just go straight to the part that is troubling. Okay, just the first paragraph here. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has reorientated. Okay, let's see. Reoriented the U.S. military to prioritize deterring China's seizure of Taiwan and shoring up homeland defense by assuming risk in Europe and other parts of the world, according to a secret internal guidance memo that bears the fingerprints of the Conservative Heritage Foundation, including some passages that are nearly word-for-word duplications of text published by the think tank last year. So I'm just going to go to the passages here that are relevant in the comparison to the Biden administration. Okay, so China is the department's sole pacing threat, and denial of a Chinese fait accompli seizure of Taiwan, while simultaneously defending the U.S. homeland, is the department's sole pacing scenario, Hegseth wrote. Its force planning construct a concept of how the Pentagon will build and resource the armed services to take on perceived threats. Will consider conflict only with Beijing when planning contingencies for a major power war, it says, leaving the threat from Moscow largely attended by European allies. Where the Biden administration's 2022 National Defense Strategy emphasized alliances in countering Russia's aggression, calling mutually beneficial alliances and allies our greatest global strategic advantage. The Hegseth interim guidance says NATO must take on far greater burden sharing because the U.S. will be reluctant to provide forces with its priorities focused elsewhere. So this is a complex situation, of course. It is troubling because it shows that it's not just a matter of one person. It's not a matter of Hegseth. If it were just him or Musk, it shows how ingrained the Heritage Foundation is on this administration. And it does something else that this article says is that the person who wrote this, let's see here, okay, just to tell you, one of the Heritage Report's co-authors, Alexander Velas Green, is now in an interim role as the Pentagon's top policy official. So they compare the memo that was supposedly written by Hegseth, right? That under the leadership of Hegseth, and the Heritage Foundation document. The Heritage Foundation, as you know, is responsible for Project 2025. So it's the same person. One of the authors is now working as a top policy person for the Pentagon. So again, the question is here, what happens now? Okay, so we have it's not just Trump or Hegseth, it's also the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025. So in case Trump goes down, which looks very likely from my perspective and Corina's perspective and many other people, how will we get rid of the influence of the Heritage Foundation, right? Because and it's so disturbing the fact that the whole that we have serious threats from Russia, including the fact that they attacked our elections. There were bomb threats, remember? And they're told here, saying here, no, don't worry, no, nothing to see here. Move along, right? So, so what? Tell me about what's going on here. It shows me the Hegseth as a puppet, and they tell that's right, exactly. You know, a puppet master moves his moves his mouth, but he's speaking the words of others, and he's saying that's why they picked somebody who has experience in propaganda media, right? Because he talks, he will say anything, he will read out. He has experience with that as a spokesperson, right? Which as a right as a Fox News speaker, right? So he knows how to talk, and that's all they need. They don't want somebody who's going to actually have an opinion on policy. They just want a puppet who will follow the orders, and that's why they picked him. So, okay, so then it shows that the military, and I see again the face of the Joint Chiefs of Staff head that was cut, General Brown, I believe his name is, cutting cutting Hegseth like a plant, like as if you're cutting a right, cutting not from the branch, not the root, but from the branch, cutting him. But that's right, they go to the root also. They will go to, they know that these people are the root cause of all of this, and that they will go to this. So it's saying, don't worry, Rosie, it will be removed. And they're all in it together. Everybody is aware. So that's the message. But it's just interesting, right? So, okay. All right. So I don't want to make it super long today. I'm just gonna share this. And so thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye. Bye. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Roses like investigator. So here I am at Keukenhof, the Tulip Gardens. I'm just walking around. It's big, and you could see. By the way, I am not a gardener. I don't know anything about flowers, pretty much. But it's pretty early in the season, so a lot of flowers have not bloomed yet. So, but it smells amazing. Just the fresh air, and it's actually cooler than I expect. Not well, not that I knew, but it is. I'm glad I'm wearing pretty. I mean, not like not winter, but it's a little chilly. So you hear the birds? I hear the birds. Um, let's see. Okay, cause see, I'm walking around here. There's a map and everything. Oh, there's a duck there. Hello, duck. What's up? What's going on? All right, all right. So here we are, and you can see. Well, maybe you can see it. So this is just, it's not quite. We're not quite at the place where, whenever those fields, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know what that is. I'm going to walk around. I'm gonna find them. So just to show you. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Okay. Pause. Hi guys. So I'm here in the Keukenhof, and I just had coffee with someone, Margaret. Uh, I will talk more about what she does. She's Dutch and she watches the channel. It was lovely to see her. And I am here in this indoors part that has all the tulips, and it's interesting because honestly, it's so cold right now. I don't know why. Why? I guess when you're outside a lot, you feel colder, but it just feels like it's quite cold. And so I'm like, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold. No, but it's there. So it's you have to kind of go see these species here indoors because not like it's the very beginning of spring, so not that many have bloomed. But here indoors, you have all those amaryllis, right? You have different kinds. And it's interesting because this place really is, I don't want to say sponsored by the companies that export, the flower companies, but it's very organized. And you can get a lot of the seeds to plant your own and such. And they have all kinds of different ones you could see here, right? They have tiny ones, they have giant ones, they have the serrated ones like these here. You see, like beautiful, and so wow. Sorry, I'm just noticing here how, like I said, guys, a little cold here. So anyway, so I'm gonna walk. I walked already quite a bit inside, and now it's good enough to see the different varieties. On not knowing that much about flowers or even tulips, I now know. I had no idea. They have the giant ones, the little ones, like I said. Okay, so yeah, there's, here it is. Look at this one. Looks like a peony. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so okay, so let's get out here. 1 second. Okay, so here's a giant flower pot, and so I was explaining to Margaret my impression, which is so interesting that, of course, I grew up in Brazil, as you guys know. And in Brazil, in Rio, one of my favorite places is the botanical garden. And the botanical garden um, is is so lush, right? Because tropical weather, flowers, and there's monkeys everywhere. It's so intense. And here, it to me, it feels, I'm like, whoa, where's the trees? Where's everything? Because I'm not in this context. I'm not used to, like, it the seasons, right? Here, that's what you have. That's what happens. So I find it's all really quite interesting how it is that you see it's very orderly because of the seasons. And Margaret Wuzach was explaining that they have these whatever the ground, the soil is heated, so that different times of the year have, because it lasts about 7 to 8 weeks. This park, they bloom only for this period, and you could see here that they have the different companies that plant their, like, essentially plant the specific bulbs for specific times. So it's kind of interesting here, but I want to know, wow. So, oh, and by the way, I wanted to show, you know how Karina was talking about the cherry blossoms, and here we are. And I was thinking, her prophecy, here it is. So it's interesting. I find it was like really very interesting. Wow, guys, I'm a little cold. To be honest. So here you get the there's a bus, like I said, there's a bus from the bigger cities around, like Leiden. That's where I went. That's the closest to city to The Hague. Let's see. And then you can come from Amsterdam, and then you take the buses from the train station, and they drop you off. And I think every 15 minutes there is a bus. And so it's about 4 o'clock now. Let's see. Oh my God, I'm cold, guys. I'm a little cold here. All right, all right. So that's right, entrance. Okay. Oh, look how pretty. So um, it's all like this. Okay. Oh, well, let's go this direction. All right. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so um, here is the field, but you could see that there's all these things that are planted, but they have not sprouted yet. Narcissus and different tulips. But guys, so you see, every people are wearing hat. I had a hat, but it's in the hotel. It's kind of crazy how cold it is. And it's so funny because as I was walking here, as I was coming here, I thought like one of the regrets I had this trip is that I didn't bring my winter jacket. And I was coming here and I was thinking, oh, it's good that it's warm enough. I don't really have to think about it. But actually, no, it's pretty cold now. So okay, here is where. So you could see the beginnings of the tulips sprouting. Um, but it's really quite busy, guys. There's a lot of people, and this is only the beginning. But now, apparently, I I heard that like the peak of this is mid-April. So if you're planning to come to the Netherlands, I would, and you're interested in flowers and coming here, it's probably best that it's mid-April and not now. You can see how people are dressed, that it's cold, right? At least I can see it. I see here. Okay, all right.